Hi guys, it's time for some more Conflict of Heroes, Awakening the Bear, and I'm using the Firefight Generator, which I've already generated a firefight with, and I'm using the solo rules to play the game. And let's just take a look at the situation at the end of the generation of the firefight. Firstly, let's take a look at the Russian forces, some of which are deployed on the map, and I am playing the Russians. So we've got on the field of battle a T-26, two T-26s, anti-tank gun, and a BA-10, which has got quite a bit of armour and power there. And to arrive on the field at some stage, we've got a BT-7, a T-26, truck and a wagon, which one of them will be hauling an anti-tank gun. That said, I've also got an excellent 8 caps. The scenario started with 4, but the generated cards are provided for another 4, oh actually 5. So I'm going up one more, I missed that one. And looking at the generated cards, those are the units we've just looked through. And the victory points, which I've got just below the card for ease. This one here is choose the Soviets cards units. The German places those units on the map. And I receive 3p at the end of the firefight for each of the units still alive, and these are the 2 units here. So if I can keep those guys alive, they're worth 3 victory points each to me. So that's the initial deployment for me, and the Germans will be coming across from that map edge there. And let's take a look at what they're going to be bringing into the firefight. And going from the left there, sorry this is not focusing very well, we're looking at a Panzer II on the left, followed by a Panzer III, followed by 2 Panzer IVs, some tank hunters, and a Jagged Panzer or something, I'm not sure, but it's got quite a good punch, that one there. And they've also got a anti-tank mine, a Telemine have the tank hunters. And in terms of their victory points, the Soviets choose a target unit that the German must destroy at any cost. And I place that unit on the map, and they get 4 VPs for destroying it. And that unit there is this anti-tank gun that I've put here, and some light woods protected by some mines. And it's probably got quite a good field of fire, I hope, coming through here. So I will have some chance at protecting that. And the Germans also get victory points for keeping my recon target, which is this BA-10 here, which is nestled in behind these woods. If the Germans at the end of each round have that in their line of sight, they receive 2 VP. So that's a target for the Germans, that's a target for the Germans, and that's a target for the Germans. And the counteractions for this offense generated solo mission will work with the AI in trying to get hold of the line of sight. And this first counteraction that was drawn, if no AI is in the line of sight of a recon unit, AI closest to the recon unit move towards it. So this AI is quite remarkable. And so that's the firefight. It's balance wise, I'm just thinking the extra caps that the Soviets have are very strong. The Germans received 2 extra cap cards in the action deck because of their caps. It's well, I tend to think the Soviets are quite well placed, but we'll see how this goes. I'll let you know towards the end of the firefight. We'll give you a bit of a rundown. Okay, this is the situation at the end of the first round, and interesting round it has been. And what we have is all the units spent on the battlefield. The anti-tank gun of mine that is situated here looking down this valley between the trees here was successful early on in taking out that Panzer Jaeger tank destroyer. Took him out as soon as he got into range, which was a nice couple of shots out there. And the Panzer IV here that's been destroyed did a solo advance towards the recon unit, and he was taken out by some supporting tanks which have now moved towards the centre of the battlefield. So some early blood there to the Soviets, The anti-tank gun, that is a objective of the Germans, has already taken a hit. It's suppressed, but it's still alive. So we've got the German armour basically closing in on in close combat, or getting near close combat with some of these Soviet units. They're a bit outnumbered at the moment. The tank hunters got in and they snuck in behind this Russian tank here, and they got a strong hit, and they've suppressed that unit there as well. And this anti-tank gun of mine here hasn't been able to get into action. He's still trying to get into the scheme of things. So that's the situation after the first round. I think certainly the odds are in favour of the Soviets at this point. I had to tweak the AI order cards slightly because I had, as I said earlier, a sole AI unit coming on and trying to hunt down that recon unit when there were quite a number of Soviet units already deployed, and we couldn't get down to the counter actions, which would have allowed more German armour to back it up. So I ignored that first counter action for a while just to get some more German units onto the map to even things up a little bit. But yeah, that's the situation after round one. Back shortly, and this may not last too long. We'll see how it goes. Okay, it's the end of the second round, and the score currently is 2 to the Soviets. And taking a closer look at the battlefield, so we've got a knocked out German tank here, and the tank destroyer here, and the one knocked out Soviet tank here. I've refreshed the units for the next round, so we have our 2 target units that the Soviets the Germans are after are still here. One's been immobilized. Our target anti-tank gun, which is has rallied, and we've got our recon unit nicely hidden away there, but I've turned it around in case it needed to come around and help out. So we'll be rolling for initiative 2 soon. I'll be throwing some caps into that because certainly want some initiative here. This knocked out tank fortunately is preventing this tank here from firing at them. Not a great problem though. He's not very strong in anti-armour, that tank, more of an anti-infantry tank. So that's the situation in the battle so far. I think the odds are in the Soviet favour, but anything can happen in the solo game, as they say. Okay, round 3 has ended, and I have reset the units by flipping over the spent units. It was a quick round. Both the AI and myself passed, and I did that because I brought the armoured car around because I wanted to have a crack at finishing off this damaged unit here, and given that this armoured car's got some more anti-armour fire, or just as good anti-armour fire as these Panzers, these tanks over here. But I ended up getting spent here in the line of sight of these units, which was foolish on my part, because at the end of the round, the Germans get 2 victory points for me being in the line of sight. So I thought, okay, I'll end the round, give them the 2 victory points, refresh myself so I can get back out of the limelight again. So quick round, not much happened. This tank hunter unit is hunting that recon unit down, though. It is moving towards it wherever it goes steadily, so interesting there as well. I didn't play that round very well at all. I could have had a couple of pop shots at that infantry moving through the heavy woods with these units here. Would have been a long shot, but I could have done it. But yeah, I sort of wanted to recover from that situation where I left this guy exposed and spent, and before this tank could get into action and the like. So not well played by my part on that last round. Okay, we will plough on ahead. The odds are still in the Soviet favour, even though the score is back to even because of my silly mistake. Okay, it's the end of round 4, and things have gone from bad to worse for the Soviets. The German AI are currently sitting on 4 victory points. They've just picked up another 2 because at the end of this round the German tank hunters are in line of sight of that recon unit, so they're fulfilling their mission objectives and I'm not. So what happened in that round here, this immobilized Panzer sitting in this light woods here knocked out one of my Soviet tanks, one of the 2 that would have scored me 3 victory points had I kept it alive at the end of the firefight. So not only did it pick up 1 victory point by knocking that out, it also deprived me of victory points at the end of the game. Currently my other 3-point tank that if I can keep alive is immobilized right there. Fortunately this Panzer over here has its gun damage, so it's pretty much impotent at the moment. This little tank hunter unit here, the only infantry unit on the board, has managed to score 4 victory points for the Germans by just hunting down this recon unit, which I've handled very poorly, I think. I tried to get this anti-tank gun into the action here to see if I could have a crack at this infantry here, but no, it just got bogged down there early on. So all the Germans really have left now is this immobilized Panzer and this tank hunter unit here. So they're not in good shape because they've got a gun damaged Panzer over here. What I've got is this refreshing soon is this anti-tank gun, this immobilized tank, and this quite powerful armoured car and my anti-tank gun here. If I can get those out of the line of fire, I'm going to score 3 points with this one here if I can preserve him, and if I can get him out of the line of sight, he's going to not give away 2 victory points. But it's actually going to be a tough road to just try and finish this off because I've let the score get away on me, and I need to take out some units, I think. Okay, back shortly. Okay, we just got into round 5 and the firefight has come to a quick ending, and the Germans had the initiative. The tank hunter unit that was here had a crack at the armoured car, giving light damage to it. After they moved in close and engaged them in close range, and the armoured car fired back and took out the tank hunters, dropping the score down to from 4 down to 3. Next up, the anti-tank gun here managed to take out the German Panzer that was immobilized here and had wreaked a bit of havoc in the previous turn, taking the score down to 2 for the Germans. And at that point that just left this unit on the board, which has a damaged gun. So basically the Germans have been finished off, which at the end of the firefight gives me 2 points for this unit that remains on the board, and which takes it down to a draw. And looking at the points system, they failed to destroy the anti-tank gun. They failed to have the armoured car in line of sight at the end of the game, and I gained 3, not 2, victory points for the armoured car, for the remaining tank unit. So in fact, the 2 points there actually converts to a 3, which gives me a victory by 1 point. So a close run thing, and another good solo game with the Firefight Generator and the AI. As I said earlier in the game, it needed a little bit of tweaking at the beginning to get all those German units on the map, but a vicious affair, as you can see, with the flaming wrecks littering the battlefield. Oh, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's 9 o'clock. I've got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work, so I better pack up quickly, have a shower, and then hit the sack. See you guys next time.